I'm going to share with you on this video why I transitioned from a flatbed scanner setup to one based on a digital camera. So hopefully this can aid you on the decision of which system you want to go for. And if you stay until the end of the video, I'm going to also share with you my experience on meeting in person Joel Meyerowitz, one of my favorite street photographers, and how I got a photobook signed by him. The reason why I transitioned from a flatbed scanner to a setup using my digital camera was mainly because of two things. The first one of them is that it was taking me too long to scan one roll of film. It will take me around 40 minutes to an hour, and I'm shooting more film now and more often, and I'm also started developing some color film for some friends. So this process would just take me too long. And also I was getting loads of those particles on my negative, because I had to manipulate the film too much. I had to trim it in these strips of 6 frames to scan it and put it in the frame to be scanned. And all of this handling was making this negative too dirty, and then I would spend even more time removing those particles from the scans in Lightroom after scanning. So it was just very cumbersome. And also on the last Black Friday, I noticed that the Valoi 360 system, that is the one I have been wanting to get, it got a heavy discount of £100. So I went ahead and finally bought it. But I will not lie with you guys, this was a very expensive thing to get. And as I discussed in this video that you can see here, having a digital camera is just the first step on getting this setup using a DSLR method, because you do need to get some important investment before you can get a reliable setup. So I bought the Valoi, and I'm not like the other YouTubers, like they say that they reach out to Valoi and Valoi send a setup free of charge. I had to buy it, of course, from my own pocket, so that was an important investment. And I had to get a macro lens for my digital camera because I didn't have one. And I also had to purchase the Negative Lab Pro plugin in Lightroom, which is a must, I believe, if you are using a digital camera to scan your film, particularly if you need to do color. So the whole thing cost me around £500, but yeah, I decided to make this investment, and the good thing is that now I can get very good results. I think very close to what I would get from a professional lab scanner, and also I can do it much faster now. So I can scan a roll of film maybe in 3-4 minutes, and it will take me 2 or 3 minutes to convert negative to positive in Lightroom. So the whole process for per roll takes me less than 10 minutes for sure, versus 1 hour on scanning with the flatbed scanner, plus the time it will take me to remove the dust particles, which was a lot lately on this film. So basically now I just take it, I hang the film to dry. When it's dry, I just bring it to the Valoi system, scan it, and there are very few dust particles, so I'm very happy with all. And for me it was worth it, because as I said, I was shooting a lot of film and I had to scan a lot. But I still believe that if you don't shoot too much, then the flatbed scanner, it's still a very good option, because you just need to buy the scanner and then you don't need to buy anything else. So I think that's still a solid option to go, depending on your needs. Just to share with you a couple of thoughts about the Valoi system, I do think it's very good. I'm very happy. The quality is amazing, but I do believe that this product is a bit overpriced, because at the end it's just a bended sheet of metal. I do understand that there is some hand labor that goes into the system. There are some important mechanical tolerances that have to be there to make sure that everything is aligned and everything is hassle-free. And I also know that this is a niche product, so the demand is not as high as other things that are of mass consumption. But I do still feel that this is a bit overpriced. But I thought it was a good quality option, and I'm really happy with it. But I had to say that as well. I really think it's too expensive. If it was a bit cheaper, then of course more people would get it, because for me it took me a while to even consider getting this. The reason that, as I said, is because it got a very nice discount during the Black Friday. So that's one thing. And yeah, the other thing that I had to get this option, because many people will say that you just need a holder and put it in top of a light box. But the problem with that was that if you get a holder and you need to handle the film, then first of all I will manipulate the film as I was saying before, and I will get the dust particles to attach, because we have to remember, guys, the negative is a very thin sheet of plastic at the end with the emulsion, of course, but it's still some plastic, so it will get electrostatically charged and it will just be a magnet for particles basically. So the less you handle it, the better and the more clean the scan will be. That's something that many people don't talk about. And also the other reason why I really wanted to get this advancer system is because it's very easy to maintain the same position. So once you set up this advancing box, you don't move it, and then that allows you to do batch processing on Lightroom and then Negative Lat Pro. So you can copy the developing settings and you can trim your image to remove the extra borders, and you can apply the same trim to all of the images, so you don't have to process each of them individually because the position was the same. And for me that's a huge advantage, because one of the things I was after, as I said, was to save time. So yeah, I mean, it has its drawbacks, of course, and it comes to a price, but the good thing is that after you invest on this, then I can really recommend the results. And the other thing I can say is that it doesn't really take me that long to set up everything. It's really not that time consuming to put the tripod and align the camera to the Valoi and so on. It's still acceptable for me. It takes me less than 5 minutes to do this. I really hope that my personal experience on this transition will be helpful for you. It will help you to decide if you want to update your scanning system and which way to go. And before I say goodbye for this one, I will just quickly share with you, as I said, how I met Joel Meyerowitz. So the other day I went to the Photographers Gallery near Oxford Street in London. I wanted to buy some colored gold, the 3-pack, because it was at a very good price. I think it was £27 for 3 rolls or 36 exposure. So that's the cheapest I have seen it in the UK at the moment. So I went there. It was a Monday afternoon, and then when I was paying on the till, I saw a sign that said that Joel Meyerowitz was coming to the gallery later that day, and I couldn't believe it because he's one of my favorite street photographers. I have a book by him, the one called How I Make Photograph, and this book really inspired me because he mentions there that the smile goes a long way when you do street photography. If you look friendly, people don't feel threatened by you, and that's the image I try to project when I do street photography, and it has really given me confidence. And I love Joel because, apart from the fact that his photographs are great, of course, but the main thing about him is that he really knows how to transmit that passion that he feels for what he does. He can really communicate very well that passion and that knowledge that he has. When he speaks, you really feel inspired and motivated to go out there and do more photography. So yeah, then I stay around because I was there around 2 p.m. and he was coming at 5. So I bought my copy of the book, his latest book, The Question of Color, and I waited until 5 p.m. Then he came along very casually and I joined the queue. And then when I finally met him, he was exactly how I imagined he would be. Very, very friendly, very approachable. He complimented my hair, he liked my hairstyle. Yeah, then we just exchanged a few words and I asked him to add my name to his autograph. And then I got my photo book signed by him. And if you're also a fan of his work, I have good news for you, because he is now living in London, has studio here. So he mentioned to me that he will be organizing more things in the UK at the moment. So keep your eyes open if you want to meet him. I'm sure that we will have more opportunities to get to know him and to talk to him as well. Well guys, that's all for this one. If you want to learn more about film street photography, I suggest you to have a look here to the other videos on my channel. I will see you guys on the next one.